welcome to this week's show. This week all about if Barack Obama wins the election later on in the year in America. I think the best idea would be that he moved into the White House about a week before George and his wife moved out, so that he could familiarise himself, because it is a big house, isn't it? And I don't know, some people when they're in a very big house tend to get very lost, and that would be a little embarrassing, wouldn't it? So I think he'd turn up on the doorstep, and George would hear him tapping away on the door, and say, "Oh, there's someone at the door, dear." And she'd say, "Well, go and answer it. George, I shouldn't have to tell you everything." So George would go up to the door, and he'd go, "Oh, I wonder who it is. It's not Christmas time, is it?" "Yeah." And Mrs. Bush would go, "Well, don't worry if it is. He always comes down the chimney." And George would say, "Oh, that's right, of course. I get a little confused. But anyway, yeah, I wonder who it is." And you open up the door and say, "Oh, Iraq banana, yeah. No. Who is it, dear? I've seen this chap before somewhere. I've seen him on the telly. Barack Obama, welcome." "Oh, yes, and you're moving in, that's right. Come in, we've got a bed sort of set up for you, a sofa bed, it sort of comes out, and yeah, come in, and you've got a wife, I see. Come in, yes, Mrs. Obama, I guess." And Mrs. Obama said, "Well, you're very clever, George. Yeah, fair, so welcome, and come in, and we'll show you around." And they come inside, and they say, "Well," George say, "Look, there's the famous couch. You may or may not know about it, Barack, but that couch, believe it or not, has had people such as Putin, Sarkozy, Condoleezza Rice, Brown, Kevin Rudd, all sitting on it." And Barack Obama said, "Really? That's very interesting." And George said, "Yes, it was interesting, actually. We had to get Putin. He was sort of lying on the bottom, and then we got them sort of stacked like that, and then Kevin Rudd was sort of sitting on the side, and kind of awkward, but we got them all, we did get them all in there, But anyway, yeah, so, and I've got a surprise, actually, I've just remembered, in the wardrobe. Hang on. So, he went over to the wardrobe, George went over to the wardrobe, and he opened up and said, "Ah, surprise, it was only 5 minutes ago, and here they all are." And it was on a Kodak, instant camera, So they're all here, and we're going, actually, there is another third major political party, Barack, in the United States, and it's tonight. It's the wildest political party. It's here. Turn up the music, dear. We're going to have a party that no one's going to know about, and it's not going to win anything, but it's going to be good fun, and let's just jump away and bounce away and pop away. And anyway, this is Putin. Putin meet Barack. Barack meet Putin. He has a first name, like we all do, but it's one of those sort of ones that, you get your tongue all twisted trying to say, so I just say Putin, Putin like that, and he doesn't seem to mind. But even if he does, I can't tell, because he's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to read. But anyway, that's something I've always had a problem with. And Barack say, "What? You mean people's names?" I said, no, reading. Reading something I always had a problem with. And yeah, anyway, listen, check out his suit, would you? I think it's his father's, or he's just been dragged out of the sea. It's hanging on him, and he doesn't seem to be aware of it. I don't know. The arms are far too long, don't you think? And Barack said, "Well, I never really noticed it. Anyway, why don't you ask him about it?" And so Barack said, "Hello, nice to meet you, Mr. Putin. My name is Barack. You've probably seen me on telly or something like that, And Putin said, "Oh, yes, let me think, children's program presenter or something." "No. Oh, that's right, you're now the new president." "Swell, welcome." And anyway, listen, Putin, said George, that suit you got on, it's quite dandy, I like it and everything, but in the West, well, we kind of have shorter arms, like is it alright if we make some alterations? Just, you can wear that sort of thing at home, but whilst here, just to blend in, you know, do as the Romans do and all that. Well, I mean, it's a party and that, why don't we just do a few alterations? Is that alright? And so Putin said, yeah, okay. Look, I'll get the tailor. We've got the tailor, she's over there talking to one of the maids. Georgia, can you come over here, please? So Georgia comes over and says, look, I want you to do me a favour. Can you take out the arms on Putin? And Putin's like, you said her name is, what you say? Her name is Georgia. And Putin's like, yeah, just take out the arms. It is a bit long, you know. And Putin's like, and Georgia said, well, actually, Mr. Bush, I was supposed to be out of here half an hour ago. And so George said, well then, Georgia, you're free to go. And Putin's like this, you see. And George said, oh, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Oh, anyway, everyone just keep dancing. And Barak says, hey, George, do you want some punch? And Putin says, I'd like some punch. I'd like to punch him. And George says, no, well, I wouldn't mind some punch, but only from that one, the one with the berries in it, and the juice. Yeah. So they're all dancing away, and the music's, you know, blaring, and they're having a great time. And eventually everyone sort of quiets down, and they go home. And Barak and George is there, and George says, well, Barak, I need to show you where the toilets are. And Barak says, well, actually, I don't need to go. I don't know why you're sort of suggesting that even. George says, no, I'm not suggesting you need to go right now. But eventually you will, and there's toilets everywhere here. In fact, I've even written up a bit of a scheme of where they are, so that you won't get lost. So George and Barak are like orienteering around the White House, and George is pointing out, well, there's one there, and there's one around there, I think, and one up there, and they get very lost. And it's the beginning of Barack Obama's new presidency, and the exit of George Bush. Anyway, that's this week's video. Thanks for watching. Please rate my video. Even better, subscribe. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next week. Bye.